Out for a ride. Bored at home, so I thought we'd come out in the wet. Tried the new Michelin Anakee 3s out. I went out yesterday. Would have done a vlog, but the camera was flat. I've left it turned on recording by accident. But so I went out yesterday, tried them out. Bit damp, not as wet as this. It's full on real wet roads now. So they were pretty good yesterday, dry and wet. I suppose 50% of the roads were, no, I'd say 80% of the roads were dry and 20% wet. They seem to be okay on the wet roads, so don't know what they're going to be like today. These roads aren't the best of roads to try them out, but there's gravel all over this road, I know, and farmers have been on here all the time, diesel and everything on them, so well, it's a very twisty road up and down. So the road's away, you can't see where the gravel is on the line now, and the visor's soaking, so Julie's on the back, so well, I can see the gravel on that. See the gravel on through the water there. So bored at home. Been on the computer a bit this morning. Not enough. Couldn't stay housebound anymore. I suppose I could have done something in the shed, but I thought, why not come out on the bike? Like I say, these are new on. I've done 60 mile on these tyres, so they aren't fully scrubbed in. We've got quite a fastish driver and on these roads, really. I'm not trying to keep up with him, but he isn't hanging around. Got my handguards back on. Hopefully they'll protect my leather gloves, because I haven't got any winter riding gloves yet. So I'll have to buy some, because if I'm going to ride in the winter, it's no good with your hands soaking wet. Rough road there, and we go across there a bit. Nothing to do with my riding, I just seen all the rough areas, so try to avoid them. The roads are quite rough up this road. Proper raining. I'm probably coming out on camera now, is it? I don't know. This car in front isn't going slow by no means, as you'll see from the car in front now. How slow we've gone now. Nice and snug in the Gore-Tex clothing. That's why I'm riding a bit more. Me and Julie both got proper wet weather gear, so and it works very good. So We're not scared of coming out in the wet. So we're coming into Tregunnon now from Newtown Old Tregunnon. If you know me, and you know, well, you know, if you know me, you'll know where the roads are, will you? But if you don't know me, we're going up from Newtown to Tregunnon, over across to Lambert. Not ideal really for testing new tyres out on 2 up really. I prefer being 1 up and really testing them out. But I can't push on too far with Julie on the back. Just ride sensible. This car is going way too slow in the front one now. I hope he overtakes it. It's blackened. No, he's probably going to Tregunnon anyway. Rain's stopped a bit here now, it's loosened off a bit. So what the temperature is like. Have a look now. 18, oh it says 18 degrees today. It's quite warm in the wet here. Oh, it looks like these are both going down the same way we're going. I thought they'd be turning off, but oh, hang on, the braking. No, there is indicators. You hardly see them though. Gonna leave this car go in front because he's not hanging around. Here's Audi. I don't know if it's a 4-wheel drive on it or 2, I don't know. But he's going the right speed for us, so we'll follow him. This is where the screen comes in handy in winter. Not that fast having a screen in the summer, but in this sort of weather it's pretty good. Feels a bit windy. It's turned off. Like I say, the roads are probably the slipperiest they're going to be after all that dry weather we've been having. All the leaves have been coming down. Bit greasy, but the tyres seem to be okay. Can't comment on the tyre till you've done a few thousand miles on them. Well, or at least 700 I'd say, to get a feel of what they actually are like. You can have a one-off misfire then, old Tiger and a splutter. But these tyre reviewers reviewing tyres, I don't think they actually use tyres long enough to see what they're actually like. You've got to try them in all weathers and all speeds. Mainly the high speed ones are the more critical ones, because you can tell what a tyre is like. If they'll handle it high speed, they'll handle it low speed. on the shift on the road. So that's what I think about people who are commenting on tyres. They ride a bike for a couple hours and then they'll comment on how good the tyres are, but until you actually use them up to high speed, and if you're on a totally different bike, different bikes handle differently, so you've got to get used to the bike they're riding. Like a lot of the reviewers jump on one bike and onto another one. Every bike takes a bit of a while to get used to. You need them at least a month really to find their full potential, because there's a learning curve for the first month, I think. Leave your comments if you think I'm wrong. Well, like you say, when you get a bike, you're exploring the handling, the brakes, the suspension for the first month to see what it actually will do. Test ride for a couple hours is no good, because all you do is sit in the bike. Don't try, well, you'll just sit on it for 2 hours and you see what the arse feels like on the seat. You can't really test nothing else out. Perhaps the acceleration and overtaking. Can't really try the suspension out till you go down a lot of different roads. Like this road is as rough as hell, you can feel it. I got an XCX Tiger and you can feel all the bumps in it. I've got it set quite hard though on the front suspension, so if I softened it off it'd be a bit plusher on the road, but as I use it mainly on the road, I've got it, I think, 2 clicks from as hard as it'll go. And I seem to find it, that's where I've set it, so that's where I must like it, because I do mess around with suspension settings a fair bit to get the sweet spot. I haven't had to on the MT10 because it seemed to be so good out of the box with the holding suspension. I didn't even have to try altering it. So the MT10 SP has got fantastic suspension on it. And the factory settings 1 and 2. The 2 has been soft and the first one being a hard setting, are excellent settings. I know it's a base setting, but I haven't had to use manual adjustments yet, so I'm well happy with it. Like say on the Triumph XCX, I didn't like it at all to start with. Very, very soft, but it's supposed to be off-road as well. And as you braked, the front end dived a lot, and if you wanted to loose off the brakes for a corner, now I learned to ride the Triumph, you've got to keep the brakes on so the suspension is compressed round the corner, because if you loose them off it springs you back up. Just the nature of the bike, because it's an XCX, but you just adapt to the riding style and just got to change the way you brake. It's no good braking before the corner and then loosen off as you go around, like I do sometimes. I sometimes trail brake all around the corner on the front brake, depends how fast I'm going. But you've got to push that front tyre in sometimes if you're cornering fast, so you need to be on the brakes if you're going pretty fast. A lot of racers will brake all around the corner just to push that tyre in a bit more and to slow the speed a little bit. So I do tend to use the brakes on this around the corner because I have to. because it dives back up. Well, not dives back up, it just feels floppy because it's an XCX model. But on the MT10, if I'm going too fast, I got no quibble about braking all the way around the corner. On the dry roads, I don't say on the wet, you try not to do it if you can. I don't recommend you doing it on wet roads that much. Do your braking just before the corner and leave the bike settle round the corner. Oh, he's flashing up here, I don't know if he's up here. But that's it. That's the way I brake in the. I must admit, in the rain, I try not to brake round the corner. If it's dry, I'll brake on a corner. And it's surprising how hard you can push the front end on a motorbike with the brakes on. Railway there, Lambert Light Railway goes to Wellspool. If you're ever in the area, you can have a ride on that. Up another gear. Like I say, in the wet roads, you try and be smooth. You don't want to be hammering on the brakes on and off, because any tyre will get upset on the wet or the motorbike. So you try to ride a little bit smoother in the wet. I'm not telling any of you how to ride a bike, because I've been riding bikes for quite a few years now. And you probably have as well, so